My sisters and brothers, when we speak about prophetic foods, we must first understand that they are not ordinary foods chosen by chance, but rather divine gifts that carry wisdom far beyond what meets the eye. Allah in His infinite knowledge guided His messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to highlight specific foods not only for their taste or nutritional value, but because they serve as keys to health, healing, and even spiritual elevation. These foods are part of a divine prescription, and they remind us that the body we live in is an amanah, a trust from Allah, and what we feed it directly affects our strength, our worship, and our connection with it. In today's world, people spend fortunes on health products, supplements, and artificial cures, searching for longevity, energy, and immunity. Yet, more than 1400 years ago, Allah had already provided us with remedies in their most natural form. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam ate or recommended something, it was not merely a cultural habit or personal preference, it was revelation-inspired wisdom. To embrace prophetic foods is to embrace a lifestyle of balance, moderation, and healing, aligned with both the body and the soul. Think about it. Why would the Quran mention honey as a source of healing? Why would the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam say that black seed contains a cure for every disease except death? Why would olive oil be described as a blessed oil that should be eaten and applied? These are not coincidences. These are reminders that Allah has placed cures within the natural world, and the Sunnah points us directly to them. When we consume these foods, we are not just nourishing the body, we are reviving a sinner. And with that revival comes blessing, barakah, and a form of healing that medicine alone cannot provide. True healing happens when we recognize the source of our health, Allah Himself. Prophetic foods are powerful not only because of their natural properties, but also because of the faith and intention with which we consume them. When you eat honey knowing Allah described it as healing, when you consume black seed trusting the words of the Prophet, it is your iman that amplifies the cure. Faith transforms food into medicine, and gratitude turns every bite into worship. The beauty of prophetic foods is also in their simplicity. They are not complicated recipes or hard-to-find substances. Dates, honey, olive oil, vinegar, black seed, these are everyday items available to most of us. Yet, in their simplicity lies extraordinary strength. This reminds us that true healing is not always in the complex, but in returning to the natural, to the pure, to what Allah Himself has blessed. So when we speak about prophetic foods, we are not just speaking about diet. We are speaking about divine wisdom, about a lifestyle that connects the body with the soul, the stomach with the heart, and the human being with their Creator. And if embraced with sincerity, they are foods that not only heal illnesses, but also strengthen the bond between us and Allah. Among the many prophetic foods, one of the most remarkable and widely celebrated is honey. It is not just a sweetener or a treat for the taste buds. It is a healing miracle directly mentioned in the Quran. Allah tells us that in honey, there is healing for mankind, and this is not a statement to be taken lightly. It is an eternal truth. Honey carries within it a combination of nutrients, enzymes, and natural compounds that modern science continues to marvel at. Yet its true power extends far beyond what laboratories can measure. Think for a moment about how honey is produced. Tiny bees gather nectar from countless flowers, tirelessly working together, each one playing its role until a pure golden liquid is formed. This is not just food, this is a reflection of Allah's perfection in creation. It teaches us lessons of discipline, unity, and barakah, while also being a cure that can soothe illnesses, restore energy, and strengthen the body. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam emphasized its benefits, and it was known as one of his remedies for both internal and external ailments. Honey's healing properties are endless. It is antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. It strengthens the immune system and helps fight infections naturally at a time when people often rely heavily on artificial medicine. For centuries, people have used honey to heal wounds, soothe sore throats, ease digestive issues, and provide energy for the weak. It is like a complete package of goodness stored in a single jar, carrying the healing of nature within it. Even today, hospitals use medical-grade honey for wound healing because science has confirmed what was already given to us more than 1,000 years ago. But the healing power of honey goes beyond the physical body. When you take honey with the consciousness that Allah declared it a cure, it strengthens your faith. It becomes a reminder that true healing is not in the hands of doctors or medicines alone, but comes from the creator of both illness and cure. Honey then becomes more than food. It becomes a spiritual medicine that heals anxiety, softens the heart, and reminds the soul of Allah's mercy. What makes honey even more powerful is that it is accessible. It is not a rare fruit from a distant land or a medicine locked away in a pharmacy. It is something most homes can have. Yet we often overlook it, running after expensive treatments while forgetting that Allah has placed profound cures within the simplest of things. The key is not only in consuming it, but in consuming it with trust, belief, and gratitude. So when we look at honey, we are looking at more than a golden liquid. We are looking at a sign of Allah's mercy, a proof of His wisdom, and a cure placed in the simplest form for us to use. And if we embrace it with faith, it becomes a healing for the body and a light for the soul. Among the treasures of prophetic medicine, there is one that stands out for its extraordinary reputation, a small seed with immense power, the black seed, also known as Nigella sativa. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam described it in a way that makes every believer pause and reflect, saying that it is a cure for every illness except death. This hadith alone is enough to awaken us to the divine secret placed in this tiny seed. How can something so small carry such vast healing? It is because Allah, in His mercy, placed within it properties that go far beyond what science can fully explain. For centuries, black seed has been used across cultures and regions as a remedy for a wide variety of ailments. It strengthens the immune system, helps the body fight infections, and supports overall well-being. It is known to ease breathing difficulties, aid digestion, regulate blood sugar, and improve heart health. Its oil is used to nourish the skin, calm inflammation, and even promote hair growth. Modern research continues to reveal its antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory properties, confirming what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us long before laboratories existed. Yet beyond its medicinal effects, black seed is a symbol of divine wisdom. It reminds us that the cure for illness does not always come in complicated forms, but can be found in the simplest of things Allah has created. When you hold a handful of black seeds, you might wonder how something so plain, so ordinary looking, can hold the ability to cure so many conditions. But therein lies the lesson. Allah places immense power in simplicity. Just as He created light from darkness, He placed healing in what may seem insignificant. This is why prophetic foods are not just about physical healing. They are also a reminder of faith, trust, and submission to the Creator. By turning to black seed, a believer is reminded that solutions are not always found in the complex, but often in what Allah Himself has blessed. We live in times where people rush towards pharmaceuticals for every ache and pain, forgetting that Allah has already placed cures within His creation. Black seed is a reminder that while medicine has its place, ultimate shifa, ultimate healing, lies with Allah. He alone decides when we are cured, and He alone provides the means. This seed is one of those means, a gift from Allah wrapped in simplicity, carrying with it a profound truth. And if we embrace it with sincerity, we will find in it not only physical healing, but a renewal of faith and gratitude. When we look at the foods that were part of the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, dates hold a very special place. They were not just a staple food of Arabia, they were cherished and emphasized by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a source of nourishment, energy, and protection. To this day, dates remain a symbol of blessing and strength. When you hold a date in your hand, you are holding a fruit that has been mentioned repeatedly in the Quran and loved by the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, a fruit that carries both physical benefits and spiritual significance. One of the most striking aspects of dates is how perfectly balanced they are. Packed with natural sugars, fiber, and essential minerals, they provide instant energy while also strengthening the body for the long term. This is why they were the food chosen to break the fast, reviving the body after hours of hunger and thirst. The natural sweetness of a date revives the body without harming it, unlike the artificial processed foods people turn to today. In a single bite, you are giving your body nutrition, energy, and comfort. Dates are also known for their protective qualities. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that the one who eats 7 dates in the morning will be protected from poison and magic for that day. This is not just about physical health, but also spiritual protection. Imagine that a small fruit becoming a shield for both body and soul. It shows us once again that prophetic foods are not only about nutrition, they are a form of divine protection, a reminder that Allah cares for our well-being in every aspect. Modern science now confirms what has been known for centuries. Dates support digestion, strengthen the heart, improve bone health, and are packed with antioxidants that fight disease. For pregnant women, dates ease labor and provide the body with vital nutrients. For those who are weak or recovering, dates act as a natural strength giver. This is why they have been described as a complete food, one that can sustain life even if eaten alone for days. Truly, they are a miracle in the simplest form. When you eat a date consciously, knowing that it was the favorite of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it becomes an act of sunnah. You are not just nourishing your body, you are reviving a prophetic tradition. That awareness transforms the act of eating into worship, and every bite becomes a reminder of the blessings Allah has placed in His creation. It is easy to overlook something as common as a date, but in its simplicity lies its power. It provides strength, protection, healing, and connection to the sunnah. And if we embrace it with faith and gratitude, the small fruit has the power to heal our bodies, protect our souls, and bring us closer to Allah. Among the foods that Allah has blessed in a unique way, olive oil stands out as one of the most profound. It is not just food, it is a blessing that has been directly mentioned in the Quran, described as a light, source of barakah, and something to be eaten and applied. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged the use of olive oil, and its reputation as a food of healing has continued for centuries. When you think of olive oil, you must remember that it is not only a product of the earth, but a reminder of divine wisdom, a gift from Allah placed within something as simple as an olive tree. The olive tree is described as a blessed tree, and the oil it produces is unlike any other. It is a source of nourishment, energy, and healing capable of benefiting nearly every part of the body. Olive oil strengthens the heart, lowers harmful cholesterol, and protects the arteries. It supports digestion, soothes the stomach, and provides energy that fuels the body in a healthy and sustainable way. For the skin, it acts as a natural moisturizer and protector, nourishing it without harmful chemicals. For the hair, it brings shine, strength, and health. It is as if Allah placed within it a cure for both the inside and outside of the human being. Science today confirms what was already known from the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Olive oil is rich in antioxidants and healthy fats that fight disease, reduce inflammation, and even support brain health. In a world where artificial oils and processed fats damage the body, olive oil stands pure, natural, and protective. It is no wonder that it has been called a liquid gold, not because of its color, but because of its unmatched value for human health. Yet for a believer, it is worth more than gold because it carries divine blessing. What is powerful about olive oil is that it is simple, accessible, and natural, yet it carries so much goodness. It teaches us once again that the most effective cures are often not in the complicated, but in the pure and natural. When we consume olive oil with faith, gratitude, and intention, we are not only healing our bodies, but also drawing closer to Allah by living in harmony with His guidance. And that is why olive oil is not just food, it is nourishment for the body, a shield for the heart, and a means of bringing the light of barakah into our lives. When we think about prophetic foods, it is important to remember that their healing is not limited to the physical body. The true essence of healing lies in the connection between what we consume and the state of our hearts. Food was never meant to only fill the stomach. It was meant to nourish the soul, to remind us of Allah's blessings, and to become a source of gratitude and reflection. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ate, he never overindulged, and he always expressed. This balance is a key part of the healing process because an ungrateful heart can never truly be healthy, no matter how strong the body may appear. Healing begins with intention. If a person consumes prophetic foods simply as a trend or because science praises them, they may gain physical benefits, but the deeper blessing comes when one consumes them with faith in Allah's promise. Honey, dates, black seed, olive oil, each of them carries not only nutrients but also divine approval. And when you approach them with the consciousness that they were emphasized by the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they become a means of worship. Every sip, every bite becomes a reminder that the one who created the illness is the same one who placed the cure within these foods. That spiritual recognition is what makes the healing complete. In our times, people often separate the body from the soul. They seek cures for the body but neglect the heart. They run after diets, supplements, and treatments but forget that true well-being comes when the heart is at peace with Allah. Prophetic foods bridge that gap. They nourish the body while also reviving sunnah and increasing faith. When you eat a date at it, you are not just breaking your fast. You are following the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you take black seed with trust in its healing, you are not just consuming a seed. You are acting upon his words. This harmony between action and belief is where the real healing lies. They guide us back to simplicity and purity. In a world where artificial foods and overconsumption have become the norm. By choosing these blessed foods, you are not only strengthening your body, but also purifying your lifestyle, protecting yourself from excess and reconnecting with the sun. The barakah that comes from that choice is something that no scientific explanation can ever measure. At the end of the day, food is more than nutrition. It is a reminder of Allah's mercy, a test of our gratitude, and a tool to keep us close to the sunnah. When we consume prophetic foods with faith and intention, they become more than cures for illness. They become cures for heedlessness, for forgetfulness, for the emptiness of the heart. And that is the greatest healing of all.